Hey guys, welcome back to Rooted Home and Garden. If you've ever spent a hot Saturday morning pulling weeds, trying to get all the crabgrass or dandelions out, and you look down at your soil and think, gosh, there's got to be a better way. And if you head to any big box garden center, they're probably going to send you down to the aisle where they have big bags of pre-emergent. They promise it'll be a magical shield that stops weeds before they even start. Sounds like a dream, right? But today we do need to talk about the hidden cost of that tiny shortcut. Because while pre-emergent may actually make your soil look good from the outside, there's a lot of hidden dangers that are going on under the soil. Because while pre-emergent may look on the surface that it's keeping your garden clean for a few weeks, it's quietly disrupting the very life that is growing underneath the soil. And it might actually be stunting the plants that you have already growing. So let me break down what pre-emergent is actually doing to your soil and what we should be doing instead. To understand why it's bad for your soil, we need to actually understand what it does. A lot of beginners think that pre-emergents are actually killing the weed seeds, but they don't actually kill weed seeds. Instead, they create like a chemical barrier, like an invisible toxic plastic wrap right at the top two layers of your soil. When a tiny seed starts to wake up and it sends its first root downward toward the layer, it hits that chemical layer. The chemical essentially stops the root cells from dividing. The tiny baby seed plant can't grow roots, so therefore it starves and dies. Sure, that stops the weeds, but there's a catch. The chemical barrier doesn't know the difference between a weed seed or a seed that you want to grow, like your favorite wildflowers or carrots or specific grasses. But it does get worse from here. In my opinion, there's a secret that chemical companies don't tell you. Pre-emergents can actually stunt and damage your existing plants. Think about when you buy a new plant from the store. You go and you plant it and experiences some sort of shock from the transplanting. That's called transplant shock. And it desperately needs to grow tiny little roots to help it survive the new environment. Well, those common pre-emergent chemicals are root inhibitors. If those brand new tender roots touch those chemical barrier, they immediately stop growing. Your newly planted plant may end up suffering. It might look pale or wilted or completely refuse to grow afterward. In fact, if you read the fine print on the back of the bags, most of them will tell you to wait at least 3 months after planting before you sprinkle on the pre-emergent. They know it stalls root growth. And it's not just the plant that suffers, it's the soil itself. Healthy soil isn't just dirt. It's a living, breathing city. Underground. Inside just 1 teaspoon of healthy garden soil, there are more microscopic organisms than there are people on Earth. Amazing! We're talking about beneficial bacteria, fungi, and earthworms. They are the cleanup crew for your soil that feeds your plants. When we coat the soil with synthetic chemicals, we're disrupting that delicate ecosystem. Many pre-emergents negatively affect the beneficial fungi that attach to your plant's roots to help them drink water and absorb the nutrients. When the microscopic life in your soil dies off or flees the chemicals, your soil loses the ability to break down leaves and compost naturally. It becomes compact, hard, and lifeless. So, how do we get weed-free gardens without poisoning our soil or stunting our transplants? It's actually much simpler and cheaper than buying bags of chemicals. Mulch, mulch, mulch. 2 to 3 layers of organic mulch, like wood chips, straw, compost, shredded leaves, does the same exact thing that pre-emergent does, but it does it naturally. It blocks the sunlight naturally so that weed seeds can't grow, while slowly breaking down to feed your soil naturally, instead of starving it. If you have a really bad weed problem, lay down cardboard. This is called sheet mulching. Lay down cardboard, get it wet to kind of flatten it out a little bit, then add your compost or your mulch or anything you want on top of it, and that suppresses the weeds so well. I do this all the time in my garden. Over time, the cardboard breaks down and turns into mulch in your garden. Another option is using corn gluten meal. This is not the same as the culinary corn meal. If you absolutely must use a pre-emergent, look for corn gluten meal. It's 100% natural byproduct of corn that naturally slows down the seed germination without harming your soil and the biology in it. At the end of the day, gardening is about working with nature, not trying to chemically defeat it. When we take care of our soil takes care of our plants. It's as simple as that. If this video helped you understand your soil a little bit better, hit that subscribe button here at Rooted Home and Garden, and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. See you next time.